So you went to the border ceremony, I guess twice. You've seen it twice.
3 times now, twice on the India side and once on Pakistan side. Yeah.
What is it like after the third time? Is it as interesting, or is it, does it get old?
Definitely. Yeah. I think so. No, I think, I guess because the second time I went on the India side, was when I applied for the visa. So I was so desperate to be like, in a few days time, I want to be there. And then being on the Pakistan side, just, even obviously it's so much smaller, but actually I think it was a lot louder. They do it really well. Like when you're in the Pakistan side, you literally can't hear anything from India. And the India side is so loud, but then when you're in India, you can't hear anything from the Pakistan side. And it actually turns out the Pakistan side is really loud. I don't really know how they do it, but you kind of just hear the side that you're in.
So when I was there, so I've been to the Wagah border, and I went to the ceremony, or the standoff. It's kind of a theatrical standoff, I would call it, because it is very, very India and Pakistan. Like, if those two countries are going to do something, it's going to have that kind of flair to it. I think if you've been to both places, you just, so what I noticed what I was told was that on the India side, they make it a point to have women dancing on the Indian side, and to have women featured in, so it's basically, for people listening, it's this, you have guards from the India side and the Pakistan side of the border, and they kind of march up and down. And on the India side, it's like almost like a big party kind of. The people just like singing and dancing. Yeah, there's all this music. And what I remember is on the Pakistan side, it was more serious. It wasn't the same atmosphere as it is on the Indian side. So it's very different. It's almost intimidating to see the Pakistani side from the Indian side, because it doesn't have that same party vibe, I guess, if you want to call it that. Did you feel that at all before, when you're on the Indian side and you see the Pakistani side? And
definitely, yeah. And even from where I was on the India side, was quite close. I was in the tourist section. So we were quite close to the border, and just looking over, you could see the one side, which was just all men and just all in their kind of like local clothing. And actually, as it turns out, when I was actually on that Pakistan side, we didn't sit exactly there. We sat around the other side where there were more women and school children, but just the view that I got was just all men. And so already I kind of thought anyway that Pakistan would be quite male dominated, and just from this kind of like slither that I could see like through the fence, it was just men. So I was like, wow, this is going to be interesting going on that side. As it happens, once I was there, like I said, we were kind of put in a section where there was a school group there. There was a couple of women, and so it wasn't actually kind of as intense as I thought. But yeah, you're totally right. I did kind of get that thing that it was a lot more serious over that side as well.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I remember where there's a tourist section, so where basically the tourists sit, and I remember, I think it's like toward the left or something like that, and you really do only just see the men. So it's like, you're like, okay, I guess there are no women on that side, was my impression, but clearly there are women on the other side, on the Pakistani side, and as a foreigner, you can go there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just as easy. Well, probably even easier than going the Indian side, because obviously there's less people. You just walk straight in. I just remember there was definitely also a men's side and obviously a women's side going in. And so, yeah, I just kind of breezed through the women's side, and then I obviously had to wait for Tom, and we also took our taxi driver with us as well in. So I had to wait for those two. But yeah, there was still women there, definitely. I think probably more like foreign women. But again, I think the school group was probably all girls, if maybe mixed, but definitely a lot of girls.